Hi, welcome back to Get the Gloss. Today I'm here with Lopo Champalimaud, who is the CEO and founder of Treatwell, which is formerly Wahanda. Treatwell is an online booking system for beauty treatments. So Lopo, can you just tell me a bit more about how it all works?
So Treatwell is a company that I founded in 2008, and the vision for the business was to create a platform where people can book all their hair and beauty services online. I looked around and I said, why is it that you can book your flights and your hotels and your cars, and you can book almost every aspect of your life online, but you couldn't book your hair and beauty services? And today we're the largest in the world and operating in 11 countries and hope making millions of consumers kind of a little bit easier for them to book online. So
you were formerly called Wahanda and you've changed your name to Treatwell. How's the shift gone?
The shift is a big shift, obviously. We rebranded at the beginning of this year, and so for most consumers in the UK, they'd known us as Wahanda. But I think what a lot of people didn't realize is that we'd opened up into 10 different countries, and in those 10 countries, we used about 5 or 6 different brand names, and that was a result of. We used Wahanda, a number of them, but in some places we'd done some acquisitions, and so we ended up with all these different brand names, and it was kind of a little bit confusing. And so we decided we really wanted to have one brand across all of Europe, and we chose Treatwell. So
does it seem to you that people are getting more obsessed with beauty than they ever have been before?
I mean, I think we as a society, I think we're definitely more obsessed about beauty, and I think it's become more permissible to obsess about beauty. People are booking more services than they ever thought possible. People think, oh, I didn't realize I could afford to do that.
So do you see different trends in different countries?
You do see this incredible variation from city to city. So, we see some cities where, spray tanning is really, really popular.
Where's popular spray tanning?
Actually, in cities like Dublin and Liverpool do really well, for spray tanning. Other places, you might see different kind of variations between different types of manicures. You'll see a shellac or a gel nail or whatever it is, and it changes from city to city. And interestingly, it also changes from seasonality. So we see these spikes for different types of treatments and different types of services, depending on the changes in the weather and times of the year. So you'll see clearly massages more in the winter, but more interestingly, things like spray tans just before New Year's, and people getting ready for that. The other interesting trend is that we see these big variations in treatments across countries. So one of the interesting things is we see male services are actually very strong in Italy, which we never expected, right? So it seems like Italian men seem to be more comfortable with booking a lot of these services. I think the very first service that ever got booked on our Italian website was a man's back wax, and so you see these real variations, and in Germany, waxing is more important. Hair is a much bigger part of what happens there. So you see these really important variations from country to country.
That's really interesting. Yeah. What drives you to get out of bed and do this every day?
So part of what makes me get out of bed is this idea that we've still got so much more to do, and there's so much, really exciting things to build. The second thing that really gets me out of bed is I think we're building a really amazing business, which I think not only is very successful business, but I think it will be successful in terms of it's transformative for both our consumers and the spas and salons that are on the platform. And there's many consumers for whom, we're really transforming the way they work and the way they book their hair and beauty service, and making a much better experience. And just like, Uber, somebody think, well, God, wasn't that a better way of booking a taxi? And we think we can change the way we really can make that transformation, and I think that's a really exciting thing to do.
And how do you stay sane in this digital age?
Yeah, it's a really hard thing. I think, and I do sometimes think I'm going to have to do some kind of a digital detox. I think there's a few things. I think exercise is a huge part of that. I really do. I think it's, for me at least, and I think for many people, I think it's such an important way of staying sane and healthy and strong. And so we've done a few things to support that. I mean, one of the things we built into the company from the very beginning was we have, for instance, an unlimited holiday policy. So all employees have always been able to take as much holiday as they want. And the reason we did that is because I've been an entrepreneur all my life. The only time I didn't start a business was at lastminute.com. And I loved that experience. But one of the things I found really odd was when the HR department at lastminute.com said, well, you have to fill in your holiday time. And I was like, I don't understand. Why do I have to do that? And they're like, well, because there's a system. I'm like, but I work here. I work till midnight. I'm here. I work on weekends. I don't kind of log my overtime. I mean, I don't understand how this works. I mean, why am I going to log my time off? If I want to take an afternoon off or a long weekend, or if I want to take a week off, I'm going to take a week off.
Yeah, it feels
and I'm going to
limiting.
be online. I'm going to be online. I'm going to be fine. And so one of the things we've really tried to do that is try to enable people to have a much more fluid work-life balance, I think, and that's an important thing. But I think at the end of the day, you've got to eat healthily, and you've got to I think stay fit, and you have to have a lot of fun in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are there any great tips that you might have for sort of budding entrepreneurs?
The single biggest bit of advice I give all entrepreneurs is, and the thing I failed at many times, and you kind of continue to do, quite frankly, is you kind of never, ever, ever put enough time into hiring the best people you can. I mean, what makes a business successful is, like, you can have a great idea, but ultimately the thing that makes it successful are the people. And it's a constant battle to kind of find great people, motivate great people, figure out how to create a structure that enables great people to do great things, but it's all about people. And I think that as entrepreneurs, we have so much to do, and there's so much, we're moving so quickly sometimes that we often underestimate, I think, just how important that is.
Thank you, Lopo. It was great talking to you.
Thank you for having me.